Hi, I'm Sam Rawad, and welcome to Amateur Crash Course U.S. History. On this, our first and final episode, Muckrakers, the voice of truth in the world of corruption and lies. So, Muckrakers were a group of journalists who, as opposed to yellow journalists, strove to find the truth and reveal it to the public, no matter how risky it is to get it and how unsatiable the minds of the masses can be. So, how exactly did the Muckrakers help America, you may ask? Well, the Muckrakers stirred up America's social conscience by exposing the issues of rickety slums, business abuses, and the sensationalizing found all around yellow journalism in this early 20th century time period. Now, we will be having many mystery documents over the course of this episode, and as I'm sure you know, if you win, you get the snappy snap. But if you lose, you get the shocky shock. So, let's have our first mystery document of the day, shall we? Thank you, James. We muckraked, not because we hated our world, but because we loved it. We were not hopeless, we were not cynical, we were not bitter. So, after all that, I think I'm going to guess Edith Tarbell, the famous muckraker. Am I right?
No.
Ah, darn it. Shocky shock for me.
Well, as you know, Sammer got shocked. Well, now he's kind of passed out down here, you know. You can't see him, but time for the second mystery document, and I'll take over. Sinclair was a muckraker that revealed the abuses inflicted by big businesses. He successfully exposed the meatpacking industry for its cruel working conditions when workers occasionally lose their fingers, and it may or may not become one with the product. Teddy himself, a meat lover, avoided meat for a week after reading The Jungle. As for Lincoln Steffens, a political reporter from New York, revealed the corrupt alliance between government and big businesses through his book, The Shame of the Cities. Ida Tarbell, a woman actually, had a past where Rockefeller crushed her father's company that was also from the oil industry, and thus took revenge and wrote exposés on the Standard Oil Company Trust, and her efforts helped the rise of labor unions that secured our fair working conditions today. Okay, thank you. The evils of poverty are not barren, but procreative, and the workers in poverty are in spite of themselves, giving to the world a litter of miserable whose degeneracy is so stubborn and fixed that reclamation is almost impossible, especially when the only process of reclamation must consist in trying to force the pauper, vagrant, weakling back into that struggle with poverty, which is all of this time defeating stronger and better natures than theirs. Think about slums, probably. Upton Sinclair?
Wrong.
What? What was it?
Robert Hunter.
That wasn't even in the book! What the heck, Stan?
Some muckrakers used their power to expose the unsanitary living conditions of the cities. Most famous was Jacob Riis, whose photo collection, How the Other Half Lives, captured the lives of people in New York slums.
Okay, now with James gone, I will be taking my turn to answer the mystery document. Thank you. Bribery is no ordinary felon, but treason. Corruption, which breaks out here and there, and now and then, is not an occasional offense, but a common practice. And the effect of it is literally to change the form of our government from one that is representative of the people to an oligarchy representative of special interests. Yes. Something about corruption. I'm gonna guess Lincoln Steffens.
Oh, that's right!
Woo! Woo! Good job, Kyler. Now let me have a crack at it. Thank you.
Hysterical sensationalism is the poorest weapon wherewith to fight for lasting righteousness. The men who with stern sobriety and truth assail the many evils of our time, whether in the public press, or in magazines, or in books, for all the leaders and allies of all engaged in the work for social and political betterment. But if they give good reason for distrust of what they say, if they chill the ardor of those who demand truth as a primary virtue, they thereby betray the good cause and play into the hands of the very men against whom they are nominally at war. Something about media. Well, I don't know anyone about media, so if I was Mr. Myers, what would I do right now? Of course, Teddy Roosevelt.
That's correct.
Woo!
So to clarify the whole media thing, in the late 1800s, before muckraking was really a thing, the prevalent form of journalism was yellow journalism, which over-sensationalized and lied about people stories to attract readership rather than to educate. These journalists, such as William Randolph Hearst, generalized and lied to start international wars, such as the Spanish-American War, and blackmailed several U.S. presidents. Muckrakers, in fact, arose to directly counter these fiends, and with their works, such as The Jungle, crowded out, or at the very least competed with, these unhonest journalists. So, thanks for watching our little expose on the glorious world of muckrakers, and how they expose to the world the horrible conditions of slums, the corruption in industries, and the untruthful nature of the media at the time. We hope you never tune in again, and I don't know about you, but I'd say this deserves an A, Mr. Myers.